Hi Vinyl community, John here again. This is my video showing some of my most recent acquisitions, and from March, I guess. And what else have I got? Oh yeah, I've got a small list of call outs I want to do to subscribers and new subscribers and people that I subscribe to, that sort of thing. We're listening to this. This is one of my things that I've picked up this past few weeks. 3 weeks ago I picked this up. This is Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. This was a really cool find, and this cost me next to nothing. I picked this up in a batch, and this doesn't happen to me very often these days. One of my pet peeves, price of records these days. This is in a charity shop in Barry. They had them available for 3 records for £2. So I of course grabbed the whole bunch, and this was amongst them. Terrible state. It's on Capitol, and took some real cleaning and polishing to get it into shape. It's an old record, so I mean there is some surface noise and some crackles, but I mean I like it. It's really cool. It just adds to the authenticity of it, I think, for me. Beautiful record. Really enjoying listening to that. So I'll dive into showing some of the records that I'm going to show here. So in amongst the same lot as the Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong record as this I got. This is in pretty poor shape, and I'm keeping it. I mean, look, yeah, it's in terrible shape. I'm keeping it because it's an original pressing from the UK. This is the first pressing available here. Little Richard. Here's Little Richard. And again, it's well used. I can show you. This is in no way one of those sort of quiet records, but it really is a timepiece. Somebody had this in the days of rock and roll, and in its day it would have been the coolest thing on the street. So I'm pretty chuffed to have it. So there you go. What else have I got to show? Billy Fury. I'm reading a book at the moment about or by John Peel. And it's a really cool book, and he speaks a lot about his own sort of introduction to getting into music and that sort of stuff. And yeah, Billy Fury was sort of one of his first loves way back in the day. It's a great book, recommend it. Billy Fury, I don't know if I would listen to him if I wasn't kind of reading about him through John Peel's eyes, but well, it didn't cost me really very much at all, so I grabbed it. Cool to have, maybe something as reference sooner or later. Another compilation in that batch, B.B. King collection, 20 blues greats, very good condition. I mean, these things were put out in the late 80s. And Deja Vu. And some of these things, yeah, look like they've barely been played. And I don't have anything else by B.B. King, so that's a cool conclusion. Similarly with Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry, decade 55 to 65. It's on platinum. Again, I mean, quality of the vinyl, yeah. It's like brand new. I can't really say how well the pressing compares to the original chest recordings, but well, that's okay. And also in that batch I got was Dusty Springfield. This core compilation came out in '88. It's called the Silver Collection. And I don't actually have anything by Dusty Springfield, sadly. So I'm very happy to have this. What more can I say? And another cool little thing that I found was this 7-inch single. I don't buy many 7-inch singles, but this was 49p. And I really remember this when I was a child, in '79. It's a single called Nice Legs, Shame About Her Face. And it's by the Monks. It's on the radio all the time. And it's, yeah, it sounds almost like an unkind record, but it's got a punchline at the end, so it's the kind of single you have to listen to. I'd recommend go and listen to it on YouTube if you haven't. It's there, I've checked. So I listened to it all the way through to the end, and then you get the kind of like the joke, if you like. So next I'm going to give a bit of a call out to some people that I've been watching and corresponding with in recent weeks. I've got a few new subscribers and I've subscribed to a few new people. The first is Vinyl Kaleidoscope. He turned me back onto this. This is an album by April Wine, and I've had this for a while. I even showed it a few weeks ago as part of my hard rock and heavy metal sort of set. And I think, to be fair, you know, I quite wrongly sort of had sort of dismissed them before in the past as being like a poor man's Lynyrd Skynyrd type band. You can, you know, perhaps understand that from the photo of them on the back. But the Vinyl Kaleidoscope, you know, spoke quite fondly of this record, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was enough to make me sort of dig it out and give it a listen. And quite happily, I was really surprised to find that it's actually very, very good. They're not at all a sort of second-rate Lynyrd Skynyrd at all. They're actually a very, very good band, fantastic musicians. There's a lot of depth to this record. I will say that they are, I would say they sound more metal than they look. But don't let that put you off. Really good record. So I guess one of the great things about the VC is, you know, watching what other people show and hear them talk about what they talk about, and kind of can give you a new perspective, and that's great because you've got all these records and perhaps I only listen to a small section of them because that's what I think I'm most interested in, and go back and listen again and rediscover new things that I perhaps had missed the first time around. I hope I'm not the only one that does that. Steve Hillage, I've picked up him again because, what's this guy called, Siren 05. He did a really fun video, well fun but interesting video about the Canterbury scene. I don't know much about the Canterbury scene. I mean, I like prog, obviously, and I have done for a long time, but don't know much about the Canterbury scene. And it turns out I think this is probably the only vinyl that I've got that is loosely related. I've got the price tab there, £1.50 I paid for this. I'll look at my database and tell you when I bought this, and I'll put it here. It was cool to listen to this. He rates this album really highly. Steve Hillage, I asked Siren 05 if he could recommend 3 albums that might be a sort of a good place to start with the Canterbury scene, and I think he recommended this one as one of them. So I've been listening to this. Yeah, this is cool. I enjoy this. Another person who I've enjoyed a lot recently is Cloudy Mulder. I think that's how you pronounce that, Andy, up in Edinburgh. Just this weekend I watched a video that he did, and he showed at least one album by Magnum. Now Magnum are a band that I've before, not really have indulged myself in really. I sort of kept them at arm's length because I think my experience with them is that while they're perhaps a little bit very, I don't upset anybody, they're just very melodic, and I sort of thought, well, maybe they're a bit more towards the AOR sort of thing, and I think some of their latter music probably is. But the earlier stuff, which I've got at least 2 of the albums, Marauder, it's a live album. Andy showed this, and then I don't think he showed this one, but this one comes after, Chase the Dragon. They're actually really quite good. I mean, there's a sort of a hard edge to them, and I've listened on YouTube the first 2 albums, which I don't have. I'd love to get hold of them. There's even a little bit of progginess in there as well in those first 2 albums. So something else I was going to try and cram into this video before it finishes was to talk about some of the other records that I've listened to intently. April Wine was one of the records that I spent a lot of time listening to whilst doing anything else. Also the Steve Hillage L album was another one. We lost Keith Emerson just recently, a week, 2 weeks ago now, and so I spent that Saturday actually just listening to some of his stuff. Obviously he's got a lot of records. I gave this a good play for us. Great record. Very proggy. ELP. I must admit I'm not a huge fan of ELP. I much prefer the Nice. And these are really fun to listen to. I don't know, I just feel that there's a lot less noodling on the Nice. That's on immediate. Than you find on ELP records, and this was quite fun too. I've had these a while, I've had these a long time, these ones. This one's on immediate too. Yeah, there you go. So, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, a couple more VCLP people I want to sort of call out to as well. I've got my names all in the list on my computer here, so I'm looking that direction now. James Griffiths, I've been corresponding with him a little bit, and great to see a new member on the VC. Obviously got a lot of ideas and a great sense of humour, which I think is a good thing here. And also I will call out to Sloop John H. John started making videos around about the same time as I did last year, I think, and he specialises, I think it's fair to say, the Beach Boys records, and he dropped out after a while. I'm not really sure why, but he's back again, so it's great to see him back. If Beach Boys is your thing, or even sort of records from that time and place, then it's certainly worth checking out his channel. He's got a lot to show. And well, with the Beach Boys in mind, I was going to say that I watched a movie just this weekend about the Beach Boys. Didn't know it existed, but we watched it anyway, called Love and Mercy, made in 2014. I'm one of those people that has often thought that Pet Sounds is overrated. I don't mean to sort of sound controversial when I say that, but I haven't really understood why people hold it in such high regard as they have done. But if you watch that movie, Love and Mercy, you see, a lot of the sort of the background, what was going on, and you gain a lot of insight into the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson, the making of that record, it's perhaps a little bit too early for me to say it's completely changed my mind, but it certainly has given me a whole new, different way of looking at that album. When I listen to it now, and sadly I don't have it on vinyl, wish I did, only got the CD. But when I listen to it now, I must admit I have a different kind of appreciation of that record. So I recommend anyone that's felt the same way about Pet Sounds as I have to check out that movie and see if it changes your mind. Okay, I'm not going to bother you anymore. So thanks very much for watching. Watch out for my next video. Okay, bye.